This is my first year working with ESL students after spending 10 years with rural white American students. One major topic that has emerged for me is the confusion the students get when they hear English metaphors and idioms. There's also some confusions that happens when words that have different meanings in other cultures and languages. I think that ESL teachers should take as many opportunities as possible to expose and teach common metaphors to students. That way, when they are having a conversation and someone uses a metaphor like time is money, they know the true meaning and not that time is literally the same thing as money. Here are some examples of metaphor, idioms, and mistaken words that I have experienced and have shaped my teaching identity. A great example of this is with this student, Regina. She was dancing around, couldn't sit still, so I was like, "Hey girl, do you have ants in your pants?" And she did not have a clue what I was talking about. She was looking around for like these little bugs, so I had to explain what that idiom or what that metaphor meant. This student, he wanted me to call him BG, so I didn't have any trouble with that. He said people didn't pronounce his name right, so he just go by BG. So I did, and I called him BG, and it went fine. And then I was informed that BG in his language and his culture meant small eyes. And I told him, I said, "I'm not calling you that." And he said, "No, it's okay. Like, they call me that too." And he was right. We went to a Korean New Year, and they called him up to honor him for his soccer award, and they called him BG. So that was one of those mistaken word incidents that I had. Another metaphor that I did not think about these students not understanding is when I said, "Hey, just what do you think off the top of your head?" And they gave me the funniest look, and as you can see, it was like off the top of our head. So I had to explain that means just really quickly, what do you think? At our family dinner, I had a student ask me for tea to drink, so I handed him a glass of, American brown sweet tea, and he shook his head and he was like, "Oh no, I meant water." He said, "In my culture and language, tea means water." This was another mistaken word incident for me. This is the point where I told Carly to zip her lips, and she had no idea what I was talking about. So I had to explain that metaphor before I got responses like this. Recently, I was at a archery contest where I had another metaphorical mishap. I told those kids, "Go knock them dead out there," and they all stopped and looked at me like I had said the worst thing in the world. So I had to explain that I really didn't mean go out there and knock them dead, but rather go out there and do great. The metaphor break a leg also had to be explained to our students. Before they performed a play, we told them that, and then we had to explain to them we didn't really want them to break their leg, but rather just perform amazing. So in conclusion, as you've seen in the countless previous examples, there are many metaphors, idioms, and words that can be confused. So I think it's our job as ESL teachers to work as diligently as possible to incorporate and try to teach as many of these as possible. So that way, as our students walk in the halls, communicating in their new English skills, if they run across one of these situations, they will be very equipped and confident in handling those real meanings instead of getting caught up on, "Hold on, ants in my pants? Are there really ants somewhere?" And we want to provide our kids with success. That is why the topic of metaphors and mistaken words has really shaped my identity as a ESL teacher. I want my students to be successful in real world conversations. Thank you.